Hello and welcome to Moon Sleep Stories, where you can simply listen and melt. Tonight, we're not just winding down, we're dissolving. Your bed becomes a lavender cloud, your to-do list gone, even your inner critic asleep at the wheel. You probably won't remember this journey because somewhere between my voice and your next breath, you'll drift off, deep, unbothered, beautifully asleep. Before we begin, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy these stories. Let us know in the comments where and when you're listening. We're building a sleepy global village together. Now dim the lights and let's begin. You begin with your body, that familiar shape you drag around all day, the one that multitasks, side-eyes group chats, and somehow manages to wear a shirt inside out without noticing until dinner. Yeah, that one. It deserves a soft landing. So go ahead, let gravity take it. Start at the crown of your head. Feel it soften, as if someone gently set down a warm mug of tea on your scalp. Your forehead unwinds. Your eyes go pleasantly lazy, like they just remembered how much work it is to care about anything. Your jaw unclenches like it just heard that everything's going to be okay. Spoiler, it is. You don't even have to try. Let the breath do the heavy lifting now. Inhale, like you're stealing peace from the air itself. Exhale, like you're finally giving up the exhausting job of holding it all together. And just like that, your face is no longer on alert. Your ears are tuned only to this moment, my voice, the soft hush of nothing else. Even your neck, usually doing more rotations than a tired office chair, gets to go limp, luxuriously limp. As your shoulders slump, a weird thought may creep in. Why have I been carrying my tension like a prized possession? Good question. No answer needed. Just let it all drop. Your arms feel long and low now, maybe like vines or liquid, or like those inflatable noodle people deflating outside a car dealership. Dignity optional, relaxation guaranteed. Let your back unfurl. Imagine it as a row of sleepy turtles tucking into their shells, one vertebra at a time. From the top of your spine to the base, let go of posture, poise, pride, anything that's ever said, sit up straight. Not tonight. Now the chest. Noticed how it rises and falls? No rush. Your heart doesn't care what time it is anymore. It's just swaying like a boat in a slow harbor. The lungs know the rhythm. In, out, in, out. Like waves that have forgotten how to crash, only how to kiss the shore and slip away. As we glide down your torso, sa, hello to the belly. It jiggles with breath like pudding under moonlight. No need to suck it in. Let it be soft. Let it expand like it's been waiting its whole life for permission to be real. And the hips, the throne of all your tension. You can drop that weight now. Picture the joints opening like ancient doors creaking back into their hinges. No more warrior pose. Tonight, you're not a warrior, you're a napper. Your thighs deflate like cushions. Your knees forget they were ever locked. Your calves slide down the timeline of worry and land somewhere in the land of not my problem anymore. Your feet, they've been on the front lines. They've earned this. Let them become useless, beautifully, gloriously, slipper-shaped blobs of existence. You're now 95% melted, almost pure puddle. The bed beneath you doesn't press back, it absorbs, like memory foam made of kindness. You're being held, not metaphorically, not spiritually, physically. Gravity and fabric are conspiring to keep you here. As your body dissolves, the mind resists. Naturally, it doesn't like being out of work. So let's give it something gentle to chew on. Something like ancient sleep. Did you know that in ancient Greece, sleep and death were brothers? Hypnos and Thanatos. Charming, right? One gives you dreams. The other, well, you won't need my voice then. But Hypnos was a favorite. Artists depicted him with wings sprouting from his temples, flying quietly over heads to tap them into rest. You can imagine that, can't you? A soft brush of feathers, the hush of myth, the whisper of oblivion, just for the night. Historians still argue whether Hypnos was feared or revered. Some called him mischievous, others merciful. All agreed, though, when Hypnos visited, the struggle ended. Tonight, you get Hypnos. No need to ask nicely. He's already here. That cool drift behind your eyelids, that's him. Of course, if we're going full history nerd. The Egyptians took sleep seriously too. Tombs sometimes featured images of sleepers, people resting so hard they were sculpted that way for eternity. One papyrus even described a goddess who hovered above pillows to catch dreams before they escaped. Sounds like a divine version of a dream catcher, doesn't it? Here's a fringe theory while we're drifting. What if your dreams aren't yours at all? What if they're rentals? Cosmic timeshares passed from sleeper to sleeper across centuries. Someone in 1422 dreamt of flying. Now it's your turn. You don't need to understand it, just be a good tenant. By now, you've probably noticed your breath changed. It's not an effort anymore. It's a breeze. You're floating in a body-shaped cloud, just above your own bed, suspended by nothing. Because nothing is all you need. Every sound is further away now. Even my voice might sound like it's under warm water, or spoken through layers of soft wool. Perfect. You've passed through the gate of the physical. No more twitching toes. No more rehearsing tomorrow's email. Let's place in. Your inner archive opens. What does that mean? Well, you know how dreams are sometimes just scrambled scenes from your week. Only this time, you're riding a horse made of lasagna, That's your archive, and now that your guard is down, it's accessible. A familiar scent might float up, a laugh, a moment from 6 years ago when you felt safe for no reason. All welcome here. And if nothing arises, even better. That means your body and mind are syncing up in their agreement. We rest now. Everything else can wait. So now we pause, not to stop, but to stretch into stillness. Because the first real sign of sleep isn't a yawn, it's surrender. And you, my friend, are almost there. The mattress holds you like a secret. You're not lying on it anymore. You're inside it. Somewhere between the fabric and the silence, you've slipped just a little out of the waking world. But don't worry, you're still here, just looser now, as if someone untied you. This is the perfect moment to explore something humanity has wrestled with for millennia: how to let go. And not just mentally. I'm talking body, breath, belief, and bedtime socks that always go missing because, well, maybe the dryer's just a portal to a more relaxed dimension. Tonight, we float back through time, not to learn, but to unlearn. Let's start in ancient Rome. The Romans, bless them, were many things: engineers, poets, empire enthusiasts. But did you know they were also into bedtime spells? Yep. Wealthy citizens hired dream interpreters to analyze their nocturnal wanderings, hoping to glimpse omens or divine stock tips from Jupiter. Some even carried little ivory tablets beset through the bed to jot down dreams, like an ancient sleep journal, minus the anxiety spiral. And they believed in invoking Somnus, the Roman version of Hypnosis, to coax better sleep. His temples were built in quiet valleys, away from city noise, as if even the gods needed noise canceling. One popular ritual involved washing one's feet in lavender-infused water, reciting a poem to Somnus, and burning a sprig of rosemary on a tiny dish. Very Pinterest core. You can almost hear the whispered Latin, Somne veni, sleep, come. Now, while most of us don't have time to chant in Latin with our feet in a bowl, the essence of that ritual is still here with you. Surrendering, softness, trusting that the night is on your side. Breathe that in now, slowly. Inhale the idea that you don't have to try. Exhale the entire day. Because here's the thing they don't teach in school. Sleep is not something you do. It's what happens when you finally stop doing. And you're doing great at stopping. Let's keep drifting. Crossfade now to the Himalayas. High up where the air thins and thoughts float off like kites, Tibetan monks developed something called dream yoga. No downward dog required. This practice trained monks to remain aware while dreaming, to use sleep as a tool for enlightenment. You, right now, might already be on the outskirts of that same territory. One technique involved visualizing the body as hollow and luminous before sleep, light-filled, like a lantern with no fuel except calm itself. Try it now. Picture your body glowing gently from within, your limbs soft, your heart pulsing slow light, your belly radiating peace. You are not solid. You are story-shaped light. Some French scholars believe Tibetan dream yoga may have influenced early lucid dreaming practices in the West, though historians still argue whether these teachings traveled via spice routes or stayed tucked away in temple scrolls, waiting to be rediscovered. Either way, the point remains. Sleep was never just rest. It was passage, practice, even a spiritual rehearsal for the next life. A little dramatic, sure, but as you lie there, between beats of breath, don't you feel something sacred blooming? Not religious, just sacred, like remembering you're part of something way too big to worry about laundry tomorrow. Now, here's something quirky for you. In the 1600s, sleep didn't happen in one big chunk. People used to sleep in 2 shifts. It was called first sleep and second sleep, with a cozy intermission in between where folks wrote letters, talked quietly, or, other candlelit activities. So, if you ever wake up in the middle of the night, congratulations, you're just being historically accurate. Maybe your ancestors are proud. All of this, feet in bowls, hollow, light bodies, 2 a.m. pillow debates, points to one truth. Humanity has always longed for rest, not just sleep, but real, bone-deep letting go. And you're doing it now, right now. Let's anchor it deeper. Imagine this, walking through a warm, lamplit forest. The trees sway slowly, almost like they're breathing with you. Their leaves shimmer gold and deep green, glinting in the half moonlight. You don't know where you're going, and that's the best part. You're barefoot, but the moss beneath your feet is thick and spongy. Each step makes no sound. It just feels like approval. You spot a stone bench beside a creek. Sit for a moment. Feel the stone cool beneath you. Watch the water curl over rocks like silk. You're not analyzing the current. You're just with it. A soft wind rustles above, bringing the scent of pine and something faintly sweet, like oranges you forgot you loved. This is your sleep sanctuary, and it's not a dream. It's real, because your body believes it's real. The brain doesn't care if the moss came from a forest or a voice in your headphones. It reacts the same. It calms. This is the magic of suggestion. It's not trickery. It's collaboration. Your mind is saying, "Thank you. This is the first time all day I haven't had to decide anything." Stay here a bit longer. Breathe in through your nose just enough to stretch your ribs. Exhale through parted lips, like fog leaving your mouth in winter. And as you do, A hush deeper than silence moves through you. It comes from somewhere ancient, older than language. Maybe it's from when humans first looked up at the stars and decided that rest was a kind of worship. You don't need a temple. You are the temple. Your breath is incense. Your heartbeat is the slow drum echo of something divine curling up in a blanket. You're not doing it wrong. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just here, and that's enough. One last thought before we drift forward. In medieval Europe, they believed in night travel, that the soul wandered while the body slept, sometimes into dreams, sometimes into other people's dreams. So, if you run into someone you know tonight in dreamland, be cool about it. Some monks even kept dream logs, mappings, symbols, and strange encounters like cartographers of the unconscious. But the best part, they treated those dreams not as entertainment, but as messages. Not always clear ones, but always worth listening to. So tonight, as your body sinks deeper and your awareness loosens, know that anything rising up from the dark is not random. It's not nonsense. It's you, your deeper self, speaking in a softer voice. All you have to do is listen. Or don't. Even that's optional. After all, you're already floating. There's a quiet now. Not silence exactly, but a kind of plush hush. Like your body has been stuffed with stillness instead of organs. The edges of the room blur. Time starts to feel chewy, and your thoughts, they're not gone. They've just become background dancers in a foggy stage show where the lead role is now your breath, or maybe the weightless feeling of your toes forgetting they exist. So, perfect time for a little wander. Don't worry, we're not going far, just inward. Tonight, we're taking the scenic route through your subconscious, not to fix anything, not to organize the attic of your psyche, just to explore the garden that grows there when you're not looking. You know the one, the place where impossible things are perfectly normal, where the laws of physics yawn and fall asleep mid-equation, where time melts like chocolate on the dashboard of a forgotten summer. It begins with a path. You're barefoot again. What can we say? Your feet were born for it. The air smells like sage and petrichor, as if rain just stopped moments ago, somewhere nearby. With every step, the world around you rearranges. You see a wrought iron gate up ahead, half covered in ivy, slightly ajar. You don't remember putting it there, and that's how you know it's real. You push it open with 2 fingers and it creaks, not ominously, but like a grandparent sighing at your curiosity. Beyond the gate, a garden, but not like any earthly garden. This one's made of you. The trees lean in, shaped like old memories. That one over there, the gnarled one with bark that looks like your childhood by candles? Yep, that's 1997 in tree form. Beneath your feet, the ground pulses gently. Not creepy, just alive. It glows faintly with whatever color your mood happens to be. Tonight, it's a sleepy blue, almost like the sky exhaled onto the earth. Every breath you take waters the plants. Every memory you've ever had is compost here, somewhere between blooming and fading. There's a tone bench again. Your subconscious really wants you to sit. Go ahead, sink into it. Even stone is soft here. And as you sit, something small hops onto your lap. A squirrel? Nope. Try again. It's a squirrel wearing glasses, tiny wire-rimmed spectacles perched on its nose like it's been grading your dreams all semester. It holds out a scroll. Of course it does. You unroll it. It's blank, because that's the trick. You get to write the rest, or not. Sometimes the paper is just for the holding, for remembering that your hands can hold, even if there's nothing urgent to grasp. We could stay here forever, but let's keep floating. The subconscious is wide, and there are snacks. As you walk further, you pass a pond that reflects your thoughts, not your face. You look in and see flashes, a childhood kitchen, a rainy afternoon in high school, the time you couldn't stop laughing on a road trip for no reason at all. They ripple and fade. You don't need to hold them, just notice, like clouds passing by. And here's something funny. Did you know that Salvador Dali used to nap with a spoon in his hand? He'd sit in a chair, holding the spoon loosely over a metal plate on the floor. The moment he started to drift off, the spoon would drop, clang, and he'd wake just long enough to sketch whatever weird image had entered his half-dreaming mind. Art made possible by almost falling asleep, over and over again. Historians still argue whether Dali's technique was brilliant or just a sleep-deprived cry for help. Either way, it worked. Because that place, the liminal space between waking and dreaming, is pure gold. And you're there now. There's a word for this phase: hypnagogia. It's the twilight zone of consciousness. You're technically awake, but everything feels slanted. Images bubble up, sounds stretch like taffy. Time does the limbo. In this state, geniuses have invented symphonies, solved math problems, and remembered where they left their keys in 1994. Maybe. So if you see something strange, now, a purple elephant reading a book, a staircase that turns into a waterfall, don't panic, say hi, maybe wave, or just float past with a smile, because this is your garden of drift. And somewhere in this subconscious terrain, a voice, maybe your own, says something you've needed to hear. Maybe it's, let go. Maybe it's, you're safe. Maybe it's, don't forget to feed the cat. Whatever it is, let it echo for a while. Because the subconscious doesn't rush. It simmers. It steeps. Now, take a breath that isn't just for oxygen. Take one that says, I don't have to know everything right now. And exhale like that thought is a balloon you finally let go of. And while we're on balloons, here's a quirky tidbit. In the 1800s, some Victorians believed dreams could be influenced by the direction you slept. They arranged their beds to face certain stars, thinking it would tune their dreams toward romance or fortune or protection from night vapors. Night vapors. How dramatic, yet somehow sweet. Beck bows. Even then, people were just trying to sleep better. Just like you, here in your garden, you notice a treehouse. Ladders made of ribbons, windows that blink, a rooftop telescope aimed at a swirling nebula of socks. You don't climb it, not tonight. Just knowing it's there is enough. There's something lovely about leaving a few doors unopened. Let the mystery rest. Let you rest. Because this whole journey, this garden, this gate, this scroll-bearing squirrel, isn't about insight or healing or productivity. It's about wandering long enough that your guard gets bored and dozes off. And what's left is just you, the quiet version, the humming in harmony with the night version, the version that doesn't need to check one more thing, say one more thing, prove one more thing. You've arrived at a place in yourself where even thoughts feel like old friends who don't need to speak. So curl up right here on a bench that hums with memory, beneath a sky that never rushes. You found your garden. Astronom. And now it dreams you. The moment you try to remember what time it is, it slips like a soap bubble between your fingers, because time doesn't work here. Not the way you know it. You're beyond it now, somewhere between ticking and talking, somewhere clocks can't follow and alarms dare not ring. Let's wander here for a while, through the space between moments. Your breath is still your guide. It's gotten so soft, so steady, that it's barely a sound anymore, like the ocean in the distance, or your own heartbeat being polite. And in this quiet, you arrive at the edge of timelines. Now, before we go floating through Einstein's dreams, or brushing shoulders with ancient astronomers in our pajamas, a quick grounding breath, in and out. No pressure, no expectation, just rhythm. Time, you see, has always been a bit of a party crasher in the world of sleep. Einstein, for example, the man whose hair had its own gravitational field, claimed to have solved parts of his theory of relativity while dreaming. He said the idea of riding a beam of light came to him in a dreamlike state, as if the universe whispered it into his half-dozing ear. Historians still argue whether this was poetic license or actual physics in bed. But wouldn't it be nice to believe that dreams can carry equations, or at least solutions? You lie there now in the same state, a mind loosened, body floating, thoughts drifting like feathers in a sunbeam. So go ahead, ride a light beam, slide along its arc like a sleepy surfer on a cosmic wave. Because when you surrender to sleep, you aren't stopping time. You're stepping outside of it. Did you know some ancient cultures didn't even measure time during sleep hours? They had no word for midnight, just before dawn and after dark, because sleep wasn't about time. It was a sacred pause in existence. Imagine that. Your sleep tonight is not wasted hours. It's your most sacred ritual. A rebellion against productivity. A silent middle finger to overthinking. Now breathes a sound in the distance. Soft, repetitive, not quite a bell. You recognize it, faintly. It's the ticking of a grandfather clock, but it's not loud, it's underwater. You're in a room now, somewhere in the mind's mansion. A library maybe, walls of velvet, books that whisper when you pass. The floor is padded like clouds, held together with yarn. There's a chair made of old lullabies. A fireplace that crackles in Morse code, but only spells out the word rest. And on a pedestal in the center of the room, a single hourglass. But instead of sand, it holds light. It flows up instead of down. Because in this place, time is reversible. You sit in the chair, the hourglass beside you, and as it glows, so do you. Everything heavy becomes helium. Everything urgent evaporates. You remember things here, not memories necessarily, but truths, simple ones, like sleep in this moment becomes rebellion and grace all at once. You're not weak for needing it, you're wise. And while we're here, how about one last quirky story? In the 1940s, a British psychologist named Celia Green proposed that dreams are a kind of parallel consciousness. Not hallucinations, not garbage sorting, but a real dimension your mind visits every night, like checking into a sleepy Airbnb on another frequency. She believed we might even train ourselves to live whole second lives in our dreams, learning, exploring, becoming. Wild, right? And historians still argue about it. Some think she was ahead of her time. Others think she just had one too many cups of chamomile. But tonight, it doesn't matter, because here in your dream-adjacent realm, you're already living a second life, one where the sun doesn't need to rise, where decisions don't follow you like unpaid subscriptions, where your name doesn't even matter, just your presence. And as you lie here, suspended in thoughtless grace, the room around you begins to dissolve again. Not with drama, it just fades. The velvet goes soft. The books close themselves. Hourglass becomes a tiny star. You're not falling asleep anymore. You're already there. Sleep is no longer a verb. It's a place. A room with no doors, only windows, and all the windows open into oceans. Go ahead, swim through one. Feel the cool, quiet wrap around you like silk. No struggle, no swimming lessons. You float automatically. Somewhere out there, stars bloom and fade like slow fireworks. Maybe one of them is the thought you had earlier, the one about what to say tomorrow, what to do next week. It burns out peacefully, not lost, just done. Let the night take it. Inhale, let it stretch you a little. Exhale, let it erase the shape you were just in. You are so light now, so silent, and time, that old chatterbox, has finally gone quiet. It's just you now. You in a state no clock can measure, drifting, floating, timeless. You are nowhere, and yet somehow more you than ever. Not defined by coordinates or deadlines, not tethered to your browser tabs or yesterday's shoes. You're just presence now, soft, subtle, submerged in a dream thick, quiet. If you could look at yourself from the outside, you'd see a person-shaped constellation, light pulsing gently in all the right places, thoughts orbiting in slow spirals, and at the center, stillness, not emptiness, not silence, stillness, the kind that doesn't need to be earned, the kind that simply is. You've reached the still center of the soul, and it's quieter here than you expected. Not spooky quiet, more like the hush of snowfall or the hush after laughter. Let's stay here a moment longer. No journey now, no footsteps, just breath. Inhale, like the universe is leaning in to kiss your forehead. Exhale, like your atoms are saying, ah, together in unison. The body at this point is a memory, a good one. It's tucked beneath the blanket, cats like a childhood toy, comfortable, safe, surrendered. You're deeper than breath now, deeper than story, floating in that rare, sacred layer of sleep where even dreams get drowsy. But just for fun, let's check on a few. Somewhere in the background of your mind, a dream is assembling itself. Maybe it's your old elementary school cafeteria, but everything's made of cake. Maybe it's your grandmother, but she's a space pilot. Maybe it's just colors, or a single word, echoing, trust. You don't need to control it. Dreams, like cats, show up best when ignored. And now that your mind is humming in low power mode, here's a fact to glide in on. In ancient Mesopotamia, dreams were considered messages from the gods. Entire libraries were dedicated to interpreting them. And sometimes the dreamer themselves was considered holy, just for dreaming. Imagine that. Your ability to sleep and dream wasn't just normal, it was revered. Your subconscious, a temple. Your fatigue, sacred. And now you're doing what so many civilizations tried to perfect. You are resting with intention. There's no to-do list in this place, no inbox, no grocery list. Even your emotions, those bright buzzing bees, have found a patch of lavender to nap in. Historians still argue whether certain pharaohs trained themselves to dream strategically, to solve problems or predict politics. Whether dreams were divine insight or just ancient REM theater. But tonight, you don't need to predict anything. You're not a pharaoh. You're not a prophet. You're better. You're peaceful. And if your inner critic pipes up with a to-do or a regret, gently imagine handing it a warm blanket and saying, "Shh, tomorrow." It'll understand. Your thoughts aren't wrong or bad, they're just tired. And now, even they are curling up. One by one, the words go dim. The planning part of your brain switches to screensaver, a field of stars drifting across gray matter. So now, imagine you're standing at the center of your soul. No mirrors, no roles, just you. Not who you've been told to be. Not who you've been performing, just the quiet witness. And this self, it doesn't hustle, it doesn't impress. It just is, a gentle flame, a rhythmic pulse, a presence so complete it asks for nothing. Let that be enough. Let you be enough. And as we round out this final stretch together, think of this. There's a part of your brain, the default mode network, that only activates during rest. It's what we used to call daydreaming. It's where creativity brews, identity strengthens, and peace anchors. And right now, it's lighting up, silently, consistently, gratefully. Your rest isn't absence, it's activation. So even in stillness, you're growing. Even in sleep, you're healing. Let's stay here a little longer. Breathe in, not to fill, but to float. Breathe out, not to empty, but to dissolve. You don't have to do anything else tonight. You've already done the brave thing. You showed up, you closed your eyes, you let go. And that is enough. Now, let it all blur. The words I'm saying already half faded. The space around you melted into soundless warmth. Even your own breath feels like it belongs to something bigger. The body beneath you is still, like a pond at midnight. No ripples, no tugging, just a mirror of calm. Let your limbs stretch into sleep. No tension, no memory of effort. Like you're made of sighs and moonlight now. And let the mind, the part that's been trying all day, sink beneath the surface. There's nothing left to figure out, nothing left to do. You've arrived. In this place, peace isn't earned, it's given. Without condition, without performance. You are safe. You are loved. You are already enough. Imagine you are a single feather caught in a breeze, drifting further and further until the breeze becomes a current, and the current becomes the night. You're not holding on anymore. You're being held, And as sleep claims the last flickers of thought, let even this voice vanish. Let it sit beneath waves of warmth and softness. You are floating now, no story left to follow. Just the sound of sleep, soft as velvet. Everything else can wait. You don't need to wake soon. The world is fine without you for now. Let it spin while you dream. You've done enough. You are enough. Sleep deeply. Sleep gently. Sleep. Hello and welcome